Juicy U article on Ethan Hawke. It's hard to stay married. On a long stroll through Brooklyn, actor Ethan Hawke explains how he survived life as a teen pinup, the deaths of friends River Phoenix and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and his divorce from Uma Thurman. I forgot he was married to her. Ethan Hawke is walking and talking. No surprise there, given that over the course of his career, he has raised walking and talking to an art form. In '95 romantic classic Before Sunrise, he and Julie Delpy played the 20-somethings Jesse and Celine, who meet on a train and spend one perfect night walking and talking around Vienna. They did it so well that 9 years later, the sequel arrived, Before Sunset, in which Jesse and Celine walk and talk around Paris. 9 years after that came the bittersweet final part of the trilogy, Before Midnight, with the now married couple walking and talking in Greece. And now, on a warm autumn morning, Ethan and I are walking and talking around Brooklyn, New York. I'd call our encounter before midday, except we're just down the road from the home he shares with his wife, Ryan Shawhughes, and their two daughters, 17 and 14, which takes any delusions of romance out of the scenario. But whatever the circumstance, Ethan is a terrific talker. My kids never need to ask what I think about anything because I never shut up, he says cheerfully as we head towards the park in search of shade. As well as his children with Ryan, whom he married in 2008, he has a daughter, Maya, 27, and son, Levin, 23, from his first marriage to Uma Thurman. Maya and Levin are, like parents, actors. He has shown his kids the Before trilogy. Maya and her friends recently watched it. It was so interesting. Maya was like, it's impossible to imagine that Jesse and Celine couldn't give each other their phone number. And I realized what those movies are about, really, is being in the moment. The phone would have destroyed it. If they'd have phones, Celine would never have gotten off the train with Jesse in Vienna. She'd have been like, no, just give me your number. And that whole once-in-a-lifetime night would have never happened. Ethan has been famous for almost 40 years, ever since Dead Poets Society starring Robin Williams turned him into a teen pinup in 1989. He was thrust further into the spotlight when he and Uma, also 55, became one of 1990's it couples after meeting on the set of '97 sci-fi film Gattaca. That spotlight became a burning fire when they divorced in 2005 and he started dating Ryan, who would emerge had worked as a babysitter for the couple. Ooh, not one of those. So cliche. Ethan later insisted that it wasn't some kind of Sound of Music type love affair and that Ryan was not involved in the divorce. Sure she wasn't, buddy. I can't imagine how brutal it must be to have your divorce dissected by the public, I say. The public eye is like gasoline, but what makes divorce hard is that stuff that makes it hard for everyone. The family elements, how to help the kids through it. I'm so envious of people who have amicable splits. I can't really talk about this because I vowed to my kids so many times not to talk about the divorce in public, but one thing I will say is if you get the privilege of traveling the world, you realize that everywhere men and women have a tremendous amount of difficulty staying married. I say I'm always surprised when people have more kids in their marriage. He takes another beat before responding. When I split up, I was hell-bent on not having any more kids and I wanted to be single for the rest of my life. But I then made a best friend and I liked kissing her. While some celebrities subjected to the tabloid glare disappear behind locked gates, Ethan remains as friendly and unguarded as an all-night dive bar. A man approaches us to say he enjoyed The Lowdown, Ethan's new Apple TV show, and suggests another show the actor might like. Awesome, thanks, man. And you've watched it? You recommend it? Ethan replies. Is he always such a magpie for recommendations from strangers? He replies earnestly. Oh, I'm always looking for guidance. Okay, well, I didn't know he had a new show, or maybe I did, but I forgot. So I'm going to go check out The Lowdown as well on Apple TV. Few would seem less in need of guidance than Ethan. Over the past few decades, he's cannily parlayed his early teen heartthrob status into one of the more interesting acting careers around, in which he alternated between hit Gen X movies such as Reality Bites with Winona Ryder and Great Expectations with Gwyneth Paltrow. Great Expectations is my favorite movie. It's like one of my top 5. I'm obsessed. That movie is amazing. He's been nominated for 4 Oscars and 1 Tony, blah, blah, blah. What else? Did he have a career plan all along? There was never any plan. I wouldn't have written in my life the way it reads. I mean, my life is happening nicely, but not through any of my own doing. I just think how lucky I am I found certain people. Ethan was born in Austin, Texas. His mother was only 18 when she had him. His father, 20. They divorced when he was 4, and Ethan and his mother, a teacher and activist, lived in Vermont and New Jersey. It's not hard to still see him in wide-eyed curious little boy looking for a guiding father figure. The first one he found was the writer-director Richard Linklater. They became friends in 94 after Richard saw him in a small off-Broadway play. It was a point in Ethan's life when he was looking for guidance, trying to become a proper actor, not just another pretty boy. We just hung out all night at this bar, and the next day he sent over a script before sunrise. Cool. What else? My life is happening nicely. Now, he's so cute. Well, I forgot he was married to Uma Thurman too, huh? That was a hot couple. I can't believe he got involved with his nanny. Okay, so Ethan plays a lyricist, Lauren Hart's okay, whatever. Ethan met River when the two of them were cast in the first film, 1985 children's movie Explorers. The film tanked, but the boys stayed close, even occasionally going up for the same roles, which River invariably got. River was the first person from my group to play a gay character. People couldn't believe it when he was in the 1991 film My Own Private Idaho, because he was Mr. Teen Beat. He means a pinup like Ethan, but River didn't care. He was a real leader that way, and it would be difficult to overstate the level to which he inspired me. For years, I saw myself in comparison to him, and still today, I often think, what would he think about this? Would he think I'm selling out? River died from an overdose in 93, aged 23. A year later, Ethan met Richard. Rick said to me when we were making Before Sunrise, if you look at the history of the arts and talented people not reaching their potential, 90% of the time, it's because of their own demons. So if you can avoid problems with drugs and alcohol, your chances of achieving your dreams go up exponentially. And that suddenly seemed like a simple choice. 2 decades later, that choice seemed even simpler when he lost another friend and mentor, Philip Seymour Hoffman, to a heroin overdose in 2014. The two of them had worked together on Before the Devil Knows You're Dead in 2007, which Philip played a heroin addict. It's too painful to watch that movie now, isn't it? I mean, Phil was always open that addiction was a lifelong struggle for him. He wasn't as a dishonest man, but I don't think anyone realized at the time how personal that performance was for him. When Ethan was cast in the lead role of the Chekhov play Ivanov in 2012, it was Philip's approbation he wanted more than anyone's. Oh, I've never heard that word. Phil came to see it, and he still loved it, but I never felt so depressed in my life. My wife wasn't so sure it was worth it to win Phil's approval. Phil inspired Ethan to take on bigger, more transformative roles, including the jazz musician Chet Baker in 2015's Born to Be Blue and a tormented priest in 2017's First Reformed. I started to say I could imagine Philip in Ethan's latest role as Lawrence, but before I can finish, he was already saying, oh man, me too, totally. Isn't that something? Wow, what a life. I want to go see this. Has anyone seen his new movie on Apple? I want to know if it's any good. This is a long article, so I'm not going to